So Arsenal crash out of the Champions League once again. But to be fair, there's actually two reasons why this night was even worse for Arsenal than you would first imagine. Look, I'm frustrated, but there are some things that we can talk about. We're going to have some discussions, good and bad, because yes, there was plenty of bad to take from this night. But there's also some good as well. We're going to be balanced in our opinions. Look, before we get into it, please just do me the favour of giving me a thumbs up on this video. So, last night, how frustrating was that? Towards the end of the game, I was just, I was going to put a video out last night, but in the end I thought, listen, just sleep on it. Because it's very easy to start ranting and raving on Arsenal, Arteta, start slating them, saying they're not good enough, get rid of them all, sack the manager. It's very easy for me to do that, but I don't think that. And to be fair, I didn't even think that last night, but there's a lot of opinion out there that is focused in that way. But look, I saw the team sheet and I actually thought, okay, Arteta's doing what a lot of us thought. We said we wanted to see Tomiyasu in left back to try and nullify the danger that Leroy Sané is going to bring to this game. And I think Tomiyasu, in the most part, done that. Now, Sané is such a good player that regardless of who you play in that position, he's always going to have success. And that's something we definitely saw in that game. Look, Sané may not have the most goals and assists in the world, but in terms of beating a player, in terms of footwork, Sané's exceptional. But we all wanted to see Tomiyasu in the squad, and that's exactly what we got. Jorginho in the middle of the park. I mean, I'm okay with it. I said in the pre-match I would have been okay with it. I wouldn't have minded seeing Thomas Partey in there as well. But like we said, it's very difficult to throw Thomas Partey into a game like this when he's had limited minutes. Mikel Arteta obviously didn't trust him, didn't play him. Last game, didn't play him. So I think maybe we need to start getting the Thomas Partey discussion out of our head. I don't know. Mikel Arteta doesn't seem keen on using Thomas Partey. And apart from that, we all wanted to see Martinelli back in the squad, Saka and Havertz. So we got the team we wanted. And in the first half, we started okay. I think Bayern Munich had a chance after about 3 minutes. But once the nerves settled down, I actually thought Arsenal dictated most of that first half. And I think we was actually the better team. I think straight after half-time was it Bayern Munich hit the bar. And I think that set the tone for the whole second half. Because Arsenal just couldn't seem to get going. No matter what we done, and we just couldn't break the lines of Bayern Munich. I'm not sure that they was even sitting that deep most of the time. It's just a lot of our play, we was knocking it left to right. There wasn't enough penetrative passes on display. Odegaard had the ball at times. There was a few times where maybe we broke through. Look, the Martinelli chance, he should have scored it. And there was a couple of other chances as well. Look, there were some players that I don't think had the best game in the world. But let's carry on talking about the game. So, towards the end of the game, look, Bayern Munich go 1-0 up. In my opinion, that's Gabriel Martinelli's man. He probably should have been marking Kimmich. And what's frustrating is, if we was going to score, Martinelli probably had the best chance as well. Like I said, I like Martinelli as a player, but you can still hold players accountable for bad performances. And in my opinion, Gabriel Martinelli had a bad performance last night. Maybe he wasn't the worst because I think there was a few bad performances, but I think probably Gabriel Martinelli was at fault for the goal, and I think maybe he could have scored a goal as well. He struck it with his left foot straight at the keeper, and it was kind of coming from the right side, and the way his body was angled, I think that was prime for him to just stick his right foot on it. But it didn't happen. And then towards the end of the game, you're searching, you're wanting, you're almost needing Arsenal to score. Right at the death of the game, you get a free kick and you're thinking, right, look, we haven't been able to break Bayern Munich's lines. At least we're going to be able to have a shot on goal. Someone might be able to produce a moment of magic that could give us Arsenal fans something to cheer about. So you're thinking, right on the edge of the area, Odegaard, whip it in, have a shot. Because we haven't had a shot this whole second half. What happens? I think it was Saka plays a quick through ball to Ben White. And I just don't understand it. Is it inexperience? Was it a lack of concentration? Was it just a terrible decision? Let me know. But I don't know why that ball was played. Look, if it pays off, then you're a genius. But it didn't pay off, so you're not a genius. It's a terrible decision. If it works, you're a genius. If it don't, it's a bad decision. That's just the way it goes. You can't be doing that. I think maybe that was a lack of experience. Saka, for me, not only that moment, but then you got the last corner of the game. In terms of set pieces, Arsenal have the highest goals scored from set pieces in the whole of Europe. So you're thinking, right, listen, you made a mistake on the free kick. At least whip this ball in and give us one more chance. And he doesn't even beat the first man. I can't tell you how frustrating that was. Bukayo Saka takes the corner and the first Bayern Munich man in the way headers it out and the whistle goes straight away. That just summed up Bukayo Saka's night to me. I don't want to make this a Bukayo Saka run, but like I said, Martinelli had a bad game. Saka had a bad game. The two wingers for me didn't really provide much. That's just my truth. Let me know if you agree with that or not. And then we're going to go to some other players. David Raya. I thought he was bad. You know, I think his positioning was terrible. I think the way he was palming the ball off into certain dangerous areas was bad. Ben White, I think he got skinned a few times as well. And like I said, I don't want this to seem like I'm coming across as slating the players, but we can hold players accountable and have discussions on why I think they've had a bad performance. I think Ben White went past too easily at times. And there was one action in particular where Ben White, someone left him, and he was jogging back. And I thought, this isn't what you usually see with Arsenal. Why are we now seeing this? Is this a tiredness issue? You know, a lot of these players have played a lot of games, but a lot of these players in all the teams around Europe have played a lot of games. So when I saw Ben White jogging, that for me, I was thinking, come on, man, you can't be doing that in the Champions League when you're trailing. To me, that was a crazy decision from Ben White. And then you have to look at Arteta. The changes, predictable. It's always the same changes in the same position, playing the same system. And that's what's annoying for me. Every time, no matter what, Gabriel Martinelli comes off, Trossard comes on, Jorginho comes off, and Gabriel Jesus comes on. Look, I don't mind it because it's an attacking switch, but we do need to try something different. Like I said, I don't mind the changes necessarily, but, you know, it's always the same changes at the same time, the same personnel, and it's not always going to get you out of trouble. We saw in the last game that when Trossard and Jesus came on, okay, it worked. This time it didn't. Last time we praised Mikel Arteta for it. And this time we have to say he got it wrong. Like I said, we need a plan B. It's always a plan A. It's always nice football, playing 1-2 passes between each other. Let's wait, be patient, see if we can break the lines. How about sometimes someone needs to just take a risk? Why are we not taking risks? Why are we not playing the ball over the top at times? You've got Gabriel Martinelli for the first 60 minutes, the quickest player on the pitch, and you've not really gone over the top. You've just tried to play little 1-2 through balls. Yeah, to me, crazy. And it is frustrating because there is no plan B. You know, and I think that's going to leave you with a question now. You know, do Arsenal need a striker? A lot of us have been calling for a striker all season. You know, and is this game evidence that you definitely do need that big man up top? You do need that striker. You do need that guy who's able to produce and score goals almost out of nothing, who only needs that one chance to score a goal. Now, it's difficult to find them kind of strikers. So, of course, you're going to need it, but Arsenal really need it because, you know, if we're not able to play through the lines, then we're almost incapable of scoring. You know, so let me know what you guys think, but I think Arsenal do need to sign that striker. Look, that's all the negatives out the way. That's as far as I'm going to go in terms of going at the players. Like I said, I like all the players. I think we will improve next season, and this is where we're going to get into the positives, okay? So, look, the first positive you have to take from this is these players will learn from this experience. This manager will learn from this experience. Look, Man City won the Champions League last year for the first time. Yeah, how long's Pep been at Man City? 6-7 years. And that's with him constantly having the budget of buying the best players in the world. So to the people saying Mikel Arteta needs to leave the club because he hasn't won the Champions League already, I think you're being too emotional, in my opinion. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Your opinion is that Mikel Arteta needs to leave. My opinion is Mikel Arteta is absolutely the right man, although I am frustrated with him at this moment because of the decisions he's made. But I think we will learn from this next season. I think the players will learn from this. Look, this is only a young team. These players need experience to gain football knowledge. That's how it works. You don't have the experience until you have the experience. So these players will take that into next season. I think in the summer, when we do get rid of some of the deadwood, you know, you think of bringing Nketiah on at 87 minutes to try and somehow work a goal when he hasn't really had opportunities all season. You get players like that and you bring in some better players, in all honesty. I think if we go into next season with a better squad, I think we're going to be more well-rounded. We're going to have another year under our belt of playing the Mikel Arteta system. So yes, of course I'm frustrated. Of course things need to improve, but I think they will do. I think there are reasons to be hopeful as an Arsenal fan. Like I said, I think this is a good manager. I think this is a great team. But if I'm looking at the Champions League campaign from Arsenal this season, I would say inexperience and our own mistakes, honestly, cost us the Champions League this season. Look, Arsenal's defence have been incredible all season. It's probably the area of the pitch where I feel most confident as an Arsenal fan. But in that game yesterday, every single time that Bayern Munich attacked, I kind of was just sat there with my head in my hands. I don't know if just because there was so much jeopardy in this game or just because I wanted it so much. I don't know, but let me know if it was just me. But I felt so nervous when Bayern Munich was attacking. I think it was a mix of the shakiness from the defence, the stray passes like Gabriel. He's usually solid. The passes in the last few games, he sort of hit Zinchenko in the last game. There was a stray pass in this game. The Bayern Munich game, it was obviously a bad pass to Kimmich. You know, it's just things that we haven't seen all season have kind of cropped up. And it does give you flashbacks to the defence we had a couple of years ago where, you know, we was always suspect. We was always shaky. Gabriel was giving away penalties, giving away goals. And it's kind of like, I thought we was past that stage. But maybe that's wishful thinking because on the biggest stage, you're probably going to have the biggest nerves. So maybe these mistakes can still happen. But, yeah, just a frustrating night to be an Arsenal fan, like I said. But I think now we just have to focus on the Premier League. Look, we're in a terrible position in the Premier... Well, we're not in a terrible position, but we're in an unfavourable position in the Premier League. Do we still have a chance? Yes, but we're relying on other teams to do us a favour. We're relying on Man City to drop points, and then we need to hope that we don't drop points for the rest of the whole season. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. And the reason this is a double blow for Arsenal this game is because Man City went out of the Champions League last night. So what if they're just going to focus on the Premier League now as well. They don't have to have their midweek games. They're not going to be tired. They're going to be feeling fresh, revitalised for all their games. They got the biggest squad in the Premier League as it is anyway. So there's plenty of rotation to be had. Look, Arsenal's next 3 games are Wolves away, Chelsea at home and Tottenham away. So it doesn't get any easier for Arsenal fans. You know, we don't kind of have a week to rest now or a few days to rest because in a few days' time, we're going to be playing Wolves at their place. A very tricky fixture. Some big teams have struggled there this season. So we can't kind of get on these players' backs too much and start slating these players because in 3 days, they're going to have to be playing again away at Wolves. And if we lose that game or draw that game, then that is the Premier League done. For me, the Premier League is probably, we still have a 20% chance because things can still happen. Man City can still drop points. And we've seen Arsenal do have the ability to go on a really good run. But listen to Man City's next 3 games, okay? They got Brighton, Forest and Wolves. So Man City definitely have the easiest next 3 games. But after that, even Arsenal have some tricky games. You know, we still got to go away to Old Trafford. So we just got to focus on what we're doing now. We need to try and get our heads back in the game. We need to travel back from Munich. I don't even know if they're going to be able to have a training session before that game at the Molineux. They're obviously going to be in the offices doing the tactical stuff. Yeah, I don't really know what else to add to it. I'm just so frustrated. Last night, I was even more frustrated. Now I've kind of slept on it. Look, I'm still frustrated. I'm still annoyed. I still wish things could have been better because that was our best chance. You know, Arsenal playing Bayern Munich at a time where Bayern Munich aren't Bayern Munich. You know, this isn't the Bayern Munich of years gone by. This is a Bayern Munich who's lost the Bundesliga title for the first time in 11 years. If ever you want to play a team like Bayern Munich in the Champions League, you would think that was your chance. That's when you want to play them. They are out of form. They are in disarray. Their manager is leaving at the end of the season. They do have fans getting on their players' back saying they're not good enough, and we still couldn't beat that Bayern Munich team. Eric Dyer in defence. You know, you would have for sure thought that these Arsenal players would have been looking at Eric Dyer in defence, you know, and understanding that he's a weak point in that defence, but he actually had a good game, which was frustrating. You've even had the Champions League official account tweeting out Eric Dyer, he's a brick in defence, and it's just like, no. It's not the team, it's not the result I thought would happen, that's for sure. But let me know your thoughts on the game. Let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts now? Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Like I said, please do me the favour of before you go, just give me a thumbs up on this video. Just like it and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.